Good morning, everybody. Good to see you all again. Firemedic Adventures. It's that fireman guy. You know, me. I am that guy. Back at a location we haven't been in a little bit. SeaWorld Orlando. I decided to come out here because Howl O Scream is 2 nights away, and could a large, brand new project be on the horizon for SeaWorld Orlando? Maybe. There's some clues in the park, and I thought we'd walk around and I'll show you. Now, where some of these clues are, I can't get to today because I'm not at work. And even if I was at work, they are what we would call back of house. Can't really film back there unless I were to get permission. So what I'm gonna do, since I can't go back there, is I'm gonna go towards that vicinity, and I'm going to kind of talk about what I observed the other day at work, and if there's anything that we can see from being in the park, then I'll try to show you that. Something's on the horizon, folks. It is a big project if that is the case. There's a lot going on, and kind of excited to talk about it. And so what I thought we'd do is we go around and get a Howl O Scream construction update, and then also the SeaWorld Halloween Spooktacular for the kids and the adults. It's now started. It started last weekend on Labor Day weekend. I believe they started it on either Saturday or Sunday, because when I worked here Sunday, I saw kids and adults walking around the park with trick-or-treat bags filled with candy. So that is now underway too. One little really neat thing to mention about the Halloween Spooktacular is it's included with your park admission or your annual pass or fun card. Meaning it's not like Disney World, where if you want to take part in the Halloween event, you got to pay extra money, a couple $100 extra. This one's all included, and it's basically a very similar experience. They have the park completely decorated out for kids in the one area, and then obviously for the adults, and Howl O Scream is in another area, so they don't jam them together. And then for the kids part of it, the Halloween Spooktacular, you get your big trick-or-treat bag. You can bring your own, or you can get a complimentary one, or you can even buy one at the gift shop, and you go to all the trick-or-treat stops. They fill your bag up with all the candy you can handle. It's pretty neat. It's a really neat event. I personally have never done it, but I work a lot of the weekends when it is ongoing, and I like to walk around the park and just kind of see what everybody's up to, and it's just fun watching the kids and the adults doing their trick-or-treating around the theme park. So we're going to give you an update on all the Halloween events happening, and then after we're done with that, we're going to go back into the area where the potential new project might be getting underway. I'm excited to show you all this. It's boots to asses time. Welcome, everybody. Heading into SeaWorld, I just thought I'd throw this little fun fact in there. The reason I say and come up with the intro right before we're getting ready to get into the park or get started with whatever we're doing for the day, the reason I started saying boots to asses time is it reminds me of being a probationary firefighter slash probie slash rookie in the fire service. And our fire captain, a training captain, would always say, I want to see you all moving with such a purpose that the back of your fire boots hit your ass every time you're moving, because you're moving with such a purpose. Hence the term boots to asses. So there you go. Welcome Halloween to SeaWorld Orlando. This is an area that they like to decorate for all the major holidays and events. And I know Halloween's getting started, but this is one of my favorite spots in the park, because in another, basically less than 2 months, there'll be a giant Christmas tree here again. But for right now, Halloween and fall. I will say the park does a really good job at decorating for the Halloween and Christmas seasons. From a standpoint of visiting SeaWorld Orlando, it is now past Labor Day. School is in session. All of our friends from overseas have returned home because it's time for them to get back to school and work. They're done with their 18 millionth vacation of the year, and it is an absolute wonderful time to be here. So just real quick before we get on into the park, There's the 2025 event calendar. We've had the Seven Seas Food Festival, Viva la Musica, Bands, Brew, and Barbecue just wrapped up. It's now time for the SeaWorld Spooktacular and Howl O Scream, starting, like I said, in 2 days, and then in about a little less than 2 months, my all-time favorite event of the entire year, SeaWorld Christmas Celebration. So basically, for the Halloween events, they are split up into two sides of the park. So the two events don't crisscross each other, which is perfect because Howl O Scream is pretty intense, as it's supposed to be. It's more for adults and younger children that really like that kind of intensity for Halloween. The SeaWorld Spooktacular is a similar version to like Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. And it's very family friendly, very fun to walk around. And you'll see in a short minute here when we get over there. What I thought we would do is we're going to start on this side of the park over here where the Halloween Spooktacular is, and then we will work our way over towards that side of the park where Howl O Scream is going to be situated. And then also in the area where Howl O Scream is located, that's also the area where this potential new project is getting underway. So we'll let Manta do its famous flyby here, and we'll get this Halloween and potential new SeaWorld Orlando park project underway. All right, Manta, do your thing. Heck yeah. So this is an area where we can go left or right. We're gonna go to the left where we'll start the Spooktacular. There's our pink flamingos, friends, right there. Here's where the Spooktacular starts. This is an event that has grown over the years, similar to Howl O Scream. They kind of started it off, you know, as a smaller event, and it's just gotten bigger and bigger and more popular over the years. And right here on this wall that separates the theme park from the back of house areas is a park map. You can see we're right down in this area here, and you can see the size of this thing. It's a big event. Oh, they brought back the pumpkin maze this year. Oh, look at this. Here we go. We got to kind of talk over Mr. Bob Marley here so we don't get copywritten. That's a good song though, One Love, one of my favorites. And where you see these candy corn looking umbrellas and then the candy corn stands, these are your treat stops. So how they do it at SeaWorld here, you take your trick-or-treat bag and put it underneath this chute right here. They dump all your candy into the chute and it goes right into the bag. Real easy and simple. This is the Stingray Lagoon. One of our first aid offices here is actually behind the Stingray Lagoon back that way. That's the one I work at probably 68-70% of the time. They'll even tell you too on these boards what kind of candy or treat they have here for everybody.
Some of the dolphins are a lot faster, some of them have better criteria.
That looks like Maverick with a trick-or-treat hat on. My cat Maverick.
Sometimes we'll see them kind of cutting corners a little bit earlier. Now we're going to send these four on a fast.
This one's got some Rice Krispie treats here.
Here comes that tap. So this one's looking a little bit better. These dolphins are pretty much going the same speed.
This is a great view here too. It's an overlook for the Dolphin Cove. As you can see as we move through the trick-or-treat trails back on this side of the park, there's a lot of trick-or-treat stops. And even though it's still in the realm of 90-degree temperatures, it feels cooler out now by seeing all the fall decorations everywhere. Oh, they've added more trick-or-treating down here. As I've said before, this event has expanded a lot throughout the years. Ooh, they even put a trick-or-treat stop here at the Dolphin Underwater Viewing. This is kind of an out-of-sight, out-of-mind place down here. You ever get a chance when you're here, take a look at this. We'll walk down there real quick. Oh, my weakness, man, the M&Ms. Not only is it calm down here because there's very few people, it's air-conditioned down here as well. As it should be. Can you imagine? Pretty neat area. That's the one thing I love about SeaWorld Orlando is there's all kinds of these little nooks that you can go into to get rid of the crowds and just have some peace and quiet. The other thing I love when I'm working here and as walking around the park as a guest, when it's not busy, is you get to hear the tranquil music they play throughout this park. These little towers right here, those are bubble machines. So they cover this whole area with bubbles. So this has been put in place as a newer, I say attraction, but a newer feature of the Spooktacular over the last few years. But you walk underneath this jack-o'-lantern here, and back that way, there's a bunch of more trick-or-treat stations. But right where that sign is, that's the Harvest Maze. It's pretty cool. It's nothing too big, but it's just something fun to do. Plus they got picnic tables for the little ones back here. You sit and take a break, they got plenty of shade. All kinds of really neat features back here. And where all of these props are Halloween props. This is where a lot of your character meet and greets are. Yeah, SeaWorld looks awesome, man. It looks really good. Almost make the argument they got more Halloween decorations here than Disney has. Oh, and one of my favorites, Journey to Atlantis. Since it's low crowd season, I'm gonna have to bring my GoPro and I'm gonna have to do a vlog of me riding every ride here, because literally every ride is a walk-on today. Or as I like to say, walk up, sit your ass down and ride and have fun. Penguin Trek doing a flyby. There's another photo op. And the trick-or-treat trail and the Spooktacular starts and finishes over here on this side. So you can see the boat right here where we started. Basically went that way, kind of made a loop all the way around. They turn this area into the Meet a Mermaid every year for the Spooktacular. And that, ladies and gents, is the SeaWorld Halloween Spooktacular trick-or-treat trail. Now we gotta go find some Howl O Scream. I can't believe this is the 5th year of Howl O Scream already here at SeaWorld. So it looks like they're gonna have a food and drink lanyard like they do for the other festivals, and of course the skip the line passes too. I don't remember these being here last year. 2 food items and 5 drinks lanyard for $75, and then 1 food item and 3 drinks for $45. Man, is that pricey. Dang. But the one thing I learned from working at Universal for a while too was that these theme parks make the majority of their yearly operating budgets off of the alcohol sales during the Halloween events. So it looks like we're in a scare zone here, Cannibal Harbor. They did this last year. So now obviously we're in the Howl O Scream area. We're not in the SeaWorld Kids Spooktacular event anymore. If you couldn't tell by the title of the attractions now. Not as whimsical as the Spooktacular. This is the area of the park now where Howl O Scream will take place. Just wanted to say real quick, we're at the base of the Sea Lion and Otter Stadium, which is up on top of the hill up there. This is where you can go see the Sea Lion and Otter show and see our old buddy Opie Otter, who steals the show every time. So this was a Atlantis themed haunted house last year that was really neat. I used to walk through this house when on the early mornings when I would work here. Every morning when I come in, if I get one of the really early shifts, I have to walk through the park long before the guests get here and make sure all the safety equipment is in place and make sure everything, you know, safety-wise is in working order. And so I would always take advantage and walk through some of the houses just to see the layout of them in the daylight. That way, you know, if you need to respond to one in the dark, you have an idea what they look like. And so this was, I think it was Atlantis Beneath the Deep or something like that, but it was really well themed. It was a very well done house, and it was long. It was very long. I mean, for a walk-through house, I bet it was on the 4 to 5 minute time frame probably. But this is going to be called Throttle. We'll have to keep an eye on this one. The one thing I will say with Howl O Scream as well as Halloween Horror Nights at Universal, the events are constantly changing. Every year they're different. Even SeaWorld Spooktacular, they're always adding things. And I think that's my biggest bitch and moan of the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party is, yes, it's a very popular event, but Disney's cashed in on that. And they realize, well, people are just going to go regardless. And because of that, they've made the expense of that ticket to go to the Halloween party very expensive in the more recent years. But they've changed absolutely nothing. Nothing. And that's why I refuse to go this year to the Mickey's Not So Scary, because they haven't added anything different almost in, I think it's been 7 years now. So until they start adding new elements, something different, you know, I'm gonna just kind of sit back. I mean, I'll go out to the Magic Kingdom monorail resorts and all that, and I'll watch the fireworks. No problem there. I'll watch the Halloween fireworks. But as far as attending the party, not until they start changing things up a little bit. And then here at Nautilus Theater, where I saw Lee Greenwood not that long ago, but they have this show called Monster Stomp. If you're going to be here for Howl O Scream, make time to see this. It's a very, very impressive show. For a theme park, this is an incredible show. And of course, and I know we're on Halloween right now, but just to throw it in there, in less than 2 months, I'll be getting this ready for my all-time favorite show of the year, Oh Wondrous Night. I'm always excited to see that year over year. But back to Halloween, this Monster Stomp is incredible. They've been rehearsing for quite a while for this. There was a day where I was working when I work over in this end of the park, I'll sometimes go inside of Nautilus Theater just to take a little break. And they were actually rehearsing in there, so I got to see a little bit of the rehearsal. Very impressive. This is something brand new this year. This was not here last year. Let's see what we got. Well, I think we have a sponsor here. Definitely have a sponsor. Man, just like at Halloween Horror Nights at Universal. You want to come here and get drunk, man, they're going to hurt you. They're going to hurt you square into that wallet. But that lanyard, though, is not too terrible. I mean, really, if you think about it, those drinks are $20 a piece. You get that $75 lanyard, you're going to save some money for sure. Oh, we have another scare zone right by Infinity Falls here. Well, this is a great water ride right here. Infinity Falls. Let's see what we got here. Does this take place in Myrtle Beach or something? Just kidding to anybody that lives in Myrtle Beach, but you gotta agree with me a little bit. I mean, when I lived in Charleston, I used to go up to Myrtle Beach from time to time, and man, Myrtle Beach had some characters. Oh yeah, man, camper with the Christmas lights on it. They might as well just put Trailer Park Tragedy and then put a Myrtle Beach sign below it. Or even better yet, North Myrtle Beach. Man, this is pretty cool. Look at this. Back here in the Infinity Falls area, in the Waterway Grill section, they've turned half of the restaurant into Space Gate 3. I can't remember if last year was Space Gate 2. I know they've had this back a few years in a row now. I'm trying to remember. I'll have to look for some pictures, but I think if this is the third year, it would make sense that it's Space Gate 3. Basically, it's a farm that's looks to be been taken over by aliens. So what they do is they take this section of the restaurant, which this goes all the way over on the other side here. There's a lot of room here. They wall this off and turn it into a haunted house. And you can actually see the entry doors right here. So you'll come in through the main entryway like you're coming into the restaurant, and you'll enter into a haunted house right here. And for those that have never seen this before, this is the Waterway Grill. This is the restaurant that sits right next to Infinity Falls. And just real quick here, and we'll get on with the Howl O Scream coverage here. This big water slide ramp here that the boats go down, they get up to it by an elevator. You'll see the boat come into view here in about a second. There it is. This is going to be a big splash. Yeah! I'm not sure if she meant to do that, but that kid just took a bath. We're going to work our way out of the Myrtle Beach trailer park area. We're going to see what else is on the list for this year's Howl O Scream. There won't be anything back in Sesame Street land, obviously. So what we'll do is we're going to go off to the right here around Orca Stadium. This pathway down through here is the scare zone as well. It doesn't look like it's completely set up yet. So what we'll do is we'll take a look and see what it's going to be. And then we'll go back the other way through Sesame Street land, and we'll go access the other Howl O Scream areas. This is going to be Wood Rot Hollow. This looks like it's just getting started here. So the scare zone's not completely set up yet. They're still working on it, because here's the entryway on the other side. We're right on the SeaWorld Lagoon that sits in the center of the park. There's a lot of history on this lagoon that I never realized. There used to be a water ski show here. There used to be all kinds of stuff that used to be out on this lagoon. In fact, another topic for another vlog, but the movie Jaws 3 was filmed here at SeaWorld. I believe this is going to be a haunted house back here in the back of house area right before you get into Sesame Street land. It's going to be called Water's Edge Wellness Center. This just has that sound of a retirement home, senior living home gone bad. Does it not? These walls right here that separate the main park from the back of house areas, where I get into the Sesame Street first aid station when I work on this end of the park, it's actually just right around the corner there. But I'm going to zoom in right here so we don't go back a house, but you can see it from here. You can see a little bit of the exterior of that haunted house right there. I think that's a new haunted house this year, I think. That'll be cool. So I worked here just this past Sunday, and I was assigned to the Sesame Street First Aid Station, so I walked right by that, and they were doing quite a bit of work on it. So it should be a cool house. Sesame Street Land is up ahead. Actually, we're in Sesame Street Land right now. Since we're here, I'll show you where I work at on some days. Right here is the Sesame Street First Aid Station, so if you need anything first aid, stop on in. If I'm working there, say hi. If you need anything like heavy duty powered medication, meaning like Excedrin migraine or extra strength Advils or anything like that, these pharma boxes are really nice because they have pretty much anything and everything in there. Now, a little bit more on the expensive side, but in a pinch, if you need sunscreen or, you know, Benadryls or, like I said, Excedrin migraine or Advil, nasal spray, cough medicine, it's all here. The only thing with working at the Sesame Street First Aid Station is you hear this Sesame Street music all day long. Because it's so loud, it just penetrates the walls. It's an experience. Heading out of Sesame Street Land now, back to Howl O Scream. This building right up here to my front and left, this is the Wild Arctic building, also a site of one of the walk-through haunted houses. I'm guessing, just by the way this looks, this is going to be the entry point right here, maybe. Looks really neat. Once all the construction is done on these and the event is underway, I'll pick up an early morning shift out here and walk through some of these and see if I can't report any details to y'all. So it looks like part of it's going to be under the covering over here, under the old Wild Arctic, now the Expedition Odyssey ride. The Expedition Odyssey attraction has been open for a while now, running pretty smoothly. Seems to be pretty well received. And then attached to this haunted house is going to be a bar here called Tormented. It's going to be all ice themed apparently, which it fits. That would be pretty funny if they sold unfortunate cookies with really crap-ass messages on them. That'd be great. Moving forward, we'll stop in here at the Wild Arctic gift shop, or Expedition Odyssey gift shop. We'll see if there's a lot of Howl O Scream items in here. I would imagine there would be, because we're kind of in the center of the Howl O Scream event right here. Yeah, this event has gotten bigger and bigger and bigger every year. Started out with just kind of a small event the first year, 5 years ago. Now it's grown to a large area of the park, which is great. People seem to like this event a lot. So yeah, the Water's Edge is going to be a haunted house. And Collector's Curse, which is going to be on the other side, which is, it's going to be down that way. Farm 51 is where we were at, where Waterway Grill is. Number 5. Well, number 5 is going to be back behind Mako this year. Okay. So yeah, they've changed some things around quite a bit. So where Throttle is, which is one of the shows, that was a haunted house last year. So it looks like they've moved that haunted house over back this way. And then this is all going to be a pathway full of food and drinks. And then all of these letters here, the purple lettering, is all going to be scare zones. So there's all of our scare zones this year. The Blood Light District, that's popular year over year over year. I don't think they'll ever get rid of that. Then one we just walked through a little while ago that's being constructed, Woodrot Hollow. Trailer Park Tragedy featuring Myrtle Beach is in letter D. Cannibal Harbor, which is down on the waterfront, we saw a little bit of that. And then Echoes in the Glass is F. Oh, that's going to be down here where Pipeline is. So we're over in this area. I was actually going to walk on the pathway over here to Pipeline and then around and then out of the park, but this is all closed off right now, and since I'm not working today, I can't go through here. So we'll go around and come back this way and see what F looks like, the Echoes in the Glass. There's going to be 2 haunted houses back this way. That'll be newer this year as well. And it looks like they're going to have access to the Sesame Street First Aid right through here, which is right by the wall I was standing in front of, where I was telling you all that I walked past that haunted house the other day on Sunday when I worked here. So it looks like they're going to have that first aid open. They'll probably open that up to the back of house during the event, which would make sense, especially if they're going to have Sesame Street land completely closed off, which is going to be through here. So instead of cutting through Sesame Street land, which is right here, which is what we did, you can go around this pathway, which will take you right through that scare zone. Oh, we got some old school Wild Arctic signage. Hopefully they don't take this down. Just leave this as it is, just as a nod to the past. Let's go see what's going on inside here. Oh yeah, this is definitely gonna be a Howl O Scream gift shop. Check this out. Oh, that's cool. It's a paint can that's got a t-shirt inside of it. Oh, and there's the Howl O Scream shirts with all of the haunted houses on them. Oh my goodness. I love it. That is great. We got a Howl O Scream jersey this year even. That'd have been cool if they had the number 5 on it for the 5th anniversary. I think SeaWorld is doing their No Fear necklace thing, kind of like how Universal's doing it as well. Yep, there it is, a No Boo necklace. SeaWorld was the first one to do this. Oh, we got this skull torch one. Oh, now that's kind of neat. Oh, it interacts with the Halloween event. All right, it might be worth purchasing. I mean, it's 15 bucks. If it's not good, it's not good. But if it does work, that's not a terrible price for some extra entertainment. Well, that pretty much covers Howl O Scream and the Halloween Spooktacular. Before we wrap up the Howl O Scream vlog part of it, right where this opening is here in the doorway here that separates the theme park from back of house, right behind this building is the entryway into what they call the Ports of Call area. And that is going to be the main entryway for Howl O Scream. I walked through that the other day, once again checking all the safety equipment off on my shift on Sunday morning. That is completely decorated back there. In fact, before I leave the park, I'm going to walk down to this end of the park on the outside of the park and see what we can see, because there's a lot over there. All right, so now moving forward, so I can't get behind the barriers. Like I said, I'm not working today. I know I've got my ID on me, but it might raise some eyebrows. I see somebody in plain clothes walking back there. So we'll do it from here. You can see where this opening in the walls are right here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. You can see the building back that way. Those buildings are what they called the educational buildings, and they would have a lot of meetings there, a lot of big group events that SeaWorld would offer and put on. They would all meet back that way. And they'd also have classes and everything else back there. Lately, they've been pulling everything out of those buildings, and when I was doing my safety checks on Sunday morning, walking through the back of house areas, they're tearing all of these down back there. All of them are coming down. In fact, that one you can see right there, there's supposed to be another one in front of it, and that's all already been leveled to the ground. And the other one I walked up to, which is that one still standing, I took a peek inside the doorway, and the entire entryway and everything was just completely cleared out. So they're obviously tearing these down. I have heard some of our management, again, this is nothing confirmed, this is just rumor right now. Remember, rumor, R-U-M-O-R, and speculation. I'll let you spell out speculation. What I'm hearing is that SeaWorld is getting ready to build another really big roller coaster. And apparently it's going to be going back in this area. Again, I'm going to say it again, rumor and speculation. But the amount of construction or deconstruction at the moment that is going on back there, and the amount of survey markers that are in place back there, and you can see right through the doorway, There's a bunch of that red caution tape outlining things that are due to be torn down. Y'all, there's some big project getting ready to start. Because if they're leveling all of that back there, that's gonna open this entire area up all the way back this way, which I'll show you when we go to the front of the park, and I'll show you this from the outside looking back this way. That's gonna open up a whole bunch of room back there, which would make room for a very, very large project. With that much room, you could easily put a really, really cool roller coaster in that space there. It would also expand the park a little bit more as well. Pretty exciting times. I love working in the theme parks because when you start seeing stuff like this, it's just fun to start thinking about what could it be, because SeaWorld has not announced an attraction for next year yet. And not a lot of the parks have, if you think about it. It's been pretty quiet on the home front, you know. Universal's not really opening anything next year. They are getting ready to start on a big roller coaster project that is already underway. Well, I say roller coaster, it hasn't been announced yet, but all signs point to a new roller coaster. You know, so they're working on that. SeaWorld hasn't really said anything for next year, so 2026 might be kind of a calm year. Disney really doesn't have anything in the mix either, because they're starting on projects. Anything that opens at Disney World will be, you know, just refurbishments and overlays of old attractions. So nothing brand spanking new, like a brand new expansion or construction project. So 2026 is probably going to be a quieter year in the theme park side of things in the Orlando area, would be my guess. Because even if they did announce anything right now, I mean, unless they would work 24/7 around the clock, I don't think it'd be ready by spring or summer of next year. It'd be ready in the fall or winter next year, maybe, if they work their asses off on it. But I don't think there's going to be a lot for 2026 next year. 2027 and beyond, yeah, lots and lots of cool things. Because even Epic Universe looks to be getting ready for another project. One more thing we got to do before we head out of the park, and we got to walk over by the Pipeline roller coaster so we can check out that other scare zone. This is always a really neat view of the park from this bridge that cuts right through the center of the lagoon. You get an amazing 360-degree view of the park here. Here on the Pipeline path, here's the entryway into the other scare zone. Echoes in the glass. So start here and then head down this way. Good old Pipeline. That's an experience. That's all I got to say about that one. As Homer Simpson would say, "Doh! I can't get back there today." Well, this is going to be the other part of the scare zone. So the other half of the scare zone is going to be that way. And then up there along the backside of Bayside Stadium is the famous Blood Light District, which is basically softcore porn. It's what it comes out to be. There's no arguing about it. It's with everything that they have back there, it might as well be softcore porn. But it is a fan favorite, I will say that, without a doubt. All right, well, since we can't get back that way, that's going to be the other half of the scare zone, and then that'll enter into the Blood Light District back there, aka soft porn. And then the main entryway and exit will be over that way, and then the other side of Howl O Scream will be down that way. Oh, let's watch Pipeline while we're here. Let's watch it come shooting down this splashdown area. This is a cool vantage point. It is a fun roller coaster, but the only downside is the standing up. The standing up just is not comfortable, even though you get a ton of airtime, because the seats actually have a pneumatic piston in them that goes up and down, so you do bounce up and down, but it's just not comfortable. Well, ladies and gents, that's everything from inside the park. A little bitty speculation and possible new ride and or attraction update, and lots of Halloween construction updates. Now we're gonna head out of the park, and I'm gonna take you towards the entryway for the Howl O Scream event. We'll see what we can see from there. I thought I'd point this out too, right here at the Seafire Grill. right on the waterfront area, they're gonna have the Count Von Count's Spooktacular breakfast on Saturdays and Sundays, August 30th to November 2nd.
Is overfishing. See, a lot of times, what we and dolphins have in common is our love for seafood. That we really need it. In other words, we're fishing at an unforeseen.
On my way out of the park, I stopped in here at the main SeaWorld gift shop at the front of the park, and lo and behold, they have a pin set of the sheet list. It's a mystery pin set. That's so good. I'm gonna have to get these. What a fun day. All right, now we're gonna walk around to the front entryway of where Howl O Scream will be. So like I said, to do that, we gotta go out of the park exit and around the front of the park. Exiting out of the park, one of the replicas of the past, right here, you can see this roadway here. This used to be the old pickup and drop off at the very front of the park. Before pipeline was built, this was all roadway that ran right down through there, and is going to head down the way we're going to walk. It used to come down all the way through here and go right past the front of the park where you could drop everybody off. But now with all the additions of the park, this is just an extra pathway now. And SeaWorld also does have a pet care center. So if you have your pets with you and you're going to be at the park all day, you do have a place to drop them off. So we're going to head all the way down. You can see the parking lot. It is not busy at all today. And right here is the ports of call area. This is where they have a lot of media events. Whenever SeaWorld hosts a concert, they entertain the band members and the singers, the performers back here. They have conferences here. All kinds of events go on back here. You can also see the old parking spaces too, where the employees used to park that worked over in this area. So we're at the farthest reach of the parking lot, and also near the expansion lot, the overflow lot, if you would say. And if you ever pull into SeaWorld Orlando and all of this is full here and that overflow lot is completely full, you need to run. You need to go on try again later. So right here is Howl O Scream. This is the entryway. And I also believe we got another construction update. I just saw something that wasn't here the other day when I was working. And then right through here, this is gonna be the main entry. They've really gone all out for the main entrance this year, because I have not seen it look like this before. It looks like they're gonna have fire effects, lighting and fog effects, all kinds of really cool special effects for this. But right here will be the main entryway into Howl O Scream. See if we can see anything through the fence. Oh yeah, check this out. That's gonna be quite the entrance this year. As I've said before, they keep improving this event year over year over year. So this year is gonna be really good, I have a feeling. And then right past this entryway, this is all of the other part of the ports of call area and all of the pavilions where they have, again, large outings, large groups meet there. They have special events. And at one of these large pavilions back there, during the Christmas season, you can have breakfast with Santa Claus. So one other thing I got to show you all before we wrap this up completely is I did not see this the other day when I came out this way, because some of the safety equipment I have to check off is right over here near the main entryway for Howl O Scream. But when I came out this way, first off, none of this was here. The Howl O Scream scrim wasn't here. The main entryway was just getting set up. That wasn't as detailed as it is now. But even more, all of this fencing over here was not in place. And they have fenced off an enormous part of this parking lot. This is, like I said, this is the overflow lot where I'm standing in. Remember what I was saying when we were inside the park. The education buildings back that way that are being torn down are part of all of this property back here. And you can actually hear periodically a bunch of jackhammering and everything where it sounds like everything's getting torn apart. And when I walked back through here on Sunday, there was a ton of items that were being torn down and removed. and they've got markings on trees. It looks like they're taking trees down. Whatever this thing is going to be big. Because if they weren't looking at either a major park expansion or a major attraction being built or something, there's no way that any of this would be up. And this has got barbed wire on it too, so they clearly don't want people in here. I had thought for a minute, well, maybe this is going to be Howl O Scream parking, but that wouldn't make much sense because this isn't big enough for Howl O Scream. Howl O Scream is probably going to cover all of the parking right here and back that way and on into the main lot. So this right here is definitely going to be for some big project. But they have removed a ton of items, and I'll see if we can walk back here just a little bit. Again, I'm not working today, so I want to be real careful where I'm walking. This area back through here, all of this fencing is currently being built. They're actually driving fence posts into the ground all the way back this way. So all of this is getting ready to be cleared out apparently. And a big project looks to be taking shape. I would imagine that there'll be some big announcement probably in the next month or two. I would say that's probably a good target time because the fall is always a very popular time in the theme park world for any new kind of a announcement for additions or new attractions to the park. Well, there you have it, ladies and gents. That is SeaWorld Orlando Halloween Spooktacular, Howl O Scream, and construction update for a really big upcoming project, quite possibly. Let me know what you think it might be. Any ideas? Again, nothing confirmed. And obviously, whenever SeaWorld makes that announcement, we'll report on it right away. But judging by the amount of land that's being walled off with construction fences, they're getting ready to do something big for sure. So on the Halloween side of things, y'all gonna come out to Howl O Scream or even the Spooktacular? If you are, let me know down in the comments below. Thanks again, everybody. Thanks for your support. Thanks for watching. Thanks for everything. If you like what you've seen here and you want to see a lot more, subscribe to the channel. Welcome to the family. Be glad to have you here. And if you like what you've seen here, give me a thumbs up because it shoves it up the algorithm's ass. The more people that watch these vlogs and give us the thumbs up, the faster we work our way up the algorithm so we get out there to more people and we can grow the channel. Have a great day, everybody. This has been the truth. It's been actual. And I hope it was mighty satisfactual for you all. See ya. Fire Medic Adventures. Out.